Support for Swan Song is brought to you by viewers like you. Thank you. A week after the game covered in the last episode, Hanafuda Shioyo was released on February 24th, 2000, Success and Kaga Tech dropped yet another tabletop game adaptation onto the WonderSwan, Taikyoku Igo Heisei Kiin, which I'd translate to Games of Go at the Heisei Go Hall. It's shocking to me that given Go's notoriety, it took this long for a Go game to make it onto the WonderSwan, let alone that it would be the only Go game to be released on the WonderSwan. Taikyoku Igo Heisei Kiin is an adaptation of the 1997 PlayStation game of the same name developed by Success and published by GameBank. That's the game you're watching right now, as I was not able to get the WonderSwan version working on any emulator with any of the ROMs I could find online. If I ever do manage to get it working, I'll redo this episode with actual WonderSwan footage, but this is the best I could manage for now. As a side note, I've had a ton of emulation issues with games that Success has been involved with over the years of making this series, but this is the first one that flat out refused to run on any emulator I tried. Go is believed to be the oldest board game to see ongoing play today, with its invention in China dating back over 2,500 years. At its core, Go is a very simple game to understand. It's a two-player game where players alternate placing stones of their color, black or white, typically onto a 19x19 board, though smaller 9x9 or 13x13 boards may be used by beginner players. If a stone or group of stones is surrounded by the opposing player's stones, the surrounded stone or group is captured and removed from the board. Any moves that would cause a previously seen board state to be repeated are illegal. Players keep going until neither player wishes to continue, or until a player concedes. The winner is determined by tallying up the number of stones each player has on the board plus the number of empty intersections enclosed by their stones. Combinatorial game theory is a branch of mathematics that studies two-player games where players alternate between making moves that alter a completely visible board state to reach a win condition, and tries to quantify the complexity of such games by measuring things such as how many legal moves can be made per turn, how many unique board states can be represented, how long a game can last before somebody wins, how many unique games could ever be played, and much, much more. A lot of this is way above my pay grade and makes my eyes spin, but I will greatly oversimplify this by saying that despite its deceptively simple rule set, Go is ridiculously complex and goes way beyond the complexity of games like chess, which also see similar study. While Go and chess may appeal to the same mathematicians, I want to stress that the end goal of both games is very different and may appeal to very different kinds of players. Go is fundamentally a game about territorial control, whereas chess is about entrapment, specifically trapping the opponent's king into a position they can't escape from. Taikyoku Igo Heisei Kiin has a reputation for being quite rare as far as the secondary market in Japan is concerned. Used copies tend to go for under 1,000 yen, which is not that expensive for a used game, but the tough part is coming across the game in the first place. Because of this, contemporary reviews of the game are incredibly hard to come by, and very little information about what the WonderSwan version of this game even contains can be found on the Japanese internet. There's only really one video of this game running on WonderSwan on YouTube, and it's 27 seconds long, so that wasn't much help either. I got incredibly lucky because some random spam website had embedded a photo of the back of the box from a long-gone Yahoo Auctions listing, letting me get a little bit more of a sense of what lies inside. But before I talk about the WonderSwan version's modes, I want to explain the PlayStation version's modes as a point of comparison. The PlayStation version of Taikyoku Igo Heisei Kiin has three main gameplay modes: Introduction, Standard, and Challenge. Introduction is quite simply an interactive tutorial for players that are new to Go, accompanied by 16 minutes of instructional videos presented by the female professional player Umezawa Yukari. This is the big standout feature of the Heisei Kiin series, to the point that the series would be renamed to Umezawa Yukari no Taikyoku Igo Heisei Kiin for the second and third games. At the time of release, your only other channel for this kind of content would have been to order instructional VHS tapes from the back of a Go magazine. This game essentially gave you that, plus a free practice partner, which is a pretty nice deal. Standard mode let you play against another local human player or the AI on 9x9, 13x13, and 19x19 boards. At time of release, Heisei Kiin claimed to have the fastest AI in the business, though it's not clear if that's because it's dumber but faster, or because it actually features better algorithms that are both faster and smarter. Challenge mode would put you into predetermined puzzle situations and ask you to make the correct move. These were very much intended for advanced players looking to get better at Go. On the WonderSwan, Introduction mode and Standard mode seem to have carried over. Introduction mode obviously does not feature any full motion video, but the tutorial does seem to have carried over in textual form. Standard mode is also available and supports multiplayer over a link cable, but due to the screen size and readability limitations, you can only play on a 9x9 or 13x13 board in this game. Fans of full-fledged 19x19 Go will have to go and get their fix elsewhere. If one day I can get this game to run successfully, I'll revisit this episode and give more conclusive thoughts on it. But knowing what I do about it today, it seems like yet another completely inoffensive tabletop game adaptation that does the job without being super flashy. I do think it loses a bit of its appeal by dropping support for full 19x19 Go boards, that when directly compared with the PlayStation version, it comes across as much less interesting. To be continued someday, I guess?